Now, today's nightmare-filled adventure, we're going to dive further down the rabbit hole of hidden horror gems, this time around in the slasher genre. Now, every film on this list I'm really excited to share, and I hope I give you guys some good recommendations. Please let me know if I missed any, what were your favorites in the comments below. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell to be notified when I'm doing more of these lists or any other cons. So with that being said, let's get straight into the list. And coming in at number 10, Totally Killer. Released in 2023, it tells the story of a teenager who must travel back in time to stop a killer in the present. Now, there's another film out there, I think it's Killer Cut. That's the exact same premise as this one. They were released just a few months apart. However, I think this one better achieves the goal. It better encapsulates the era that it's in of the 80s. It does better with its comedy. It does better with its kills. It does better at making sense to a plot of time travel. Everyone should check this film out at least once. This is more like a throwaway popcorn slasher. Just something to numb your mind. But I do feel like the comedy is a lot better in this one than the other one that's just like it. So do yourself a favor, check this one out. I think it's streaming exclusively on Amazon.
Do you think she goes all the way? Doubt it. You better come on.
This is my post. I can't just split. Cherry Falls.
You want your first time to be something beautiful, something romantic.
And coming in at number 9, Cherry Falls. The film tells the story of a small town being terrorized by a mass killer who's only picking off the town's virgins. So, not many people know that Brittany Murphy and Jay Moore did a slasher in the late 90s. This movie used to come on all the time on cable. I used to record it on VHS and wear it out that way. Everything about this film is great. This is another one that's kind of like a throwaway popcorn slasher, but good nonetheless. You have a stacked cast in this, from Brittany Murphy to DJ Quills to Michael Brennan to Jay Moore. And Jay Moore, for someone that I see in a lot of comedic roles, does a phenomenal portrayal in this movie and is a standout. This is basically American Pie with a knife. So check it out. This is one that's also getting a little bit harder to find a physical copy of, more and more as it goes. But you can stream it exclusively on AMC+. So check it out.
Why can't exes just go away?
And coming in at number 8, Better Watch Out. Released in 2016, tells the story of a babysitter who must defend the 12-year-old she's watching from intruders trying to break in. But little does she know there is more at hand. So, this film reminds me of two different things. One, if you were to take Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory and make him psychotic. And two, if you were to take The Good Son from the 90s with Elijah Wood and Macaulay Culkin and put a little bit of humor in there, that's this film. The twist is actually a little bit surprising, but once it's revealed, this movie goes there in scenes that you wouldn't expect. Very painful, very surprising kills and gore. I suggest everyone check this out at least once. It's currently on Peacock and Tubi, so check it out.
Wait. Selfie time.
Anyone want to help me pick some strawberries?
Nope, but I'll give you a hand with those melons. Talking about her boobs. Writing is so bad.
And coming in at number 7, The Final Girls. Released in 2015, tells the story of a group of teenagers that get sucked into and trapped their favorite horror film based on Friday the 13th. So with all that being said, if you love horror films, if you love slashers, if you love satire, if you love comedy, this film is for you. I recommend this to everyone who loves such things as Shaun of the Dead for that horror comedy satire. This film has a stacked cast, It makes fun of all the horror tropes in real time and shows you how even trying to follow the rules to a horror film can have consequences that you can't foresee. So unfortunately, this film is not streaming anywhere, so you would have to pick up a physical copy, but you can also rent it off of Amazon. So please do yourself a favor. Put this on, have a good laugh, have some fun. I highly recommend this one. And coming in at number 6, Youre Next. Released in 2011, tells the story of a group of individuals that get together for a wedding celebration, only to be interrupted by masked intruders. But little do the intruders know that one of its victims has a talent for fighting back. So, what I really love about this film is that it takes a very simple, worn-out premise we've seen done 100 times over and flips it on its head. By the second act of this film, the killers in this actually become the hunted. And you see that they're fearful because they don't know who or what they're up against or what they've got themselves into. The traps in this are creative and painful. The way she fights back in this film and quickly shows you there is no such thing as a damsel in distress with her. This film has a great twist, it has great acting, and I'm actually proud that they didn't go with the alternate ending of this one. So please do yourself a favor, check this one out. It's on Peacock. I promise you will love it and be just as surprised as I was.
Oh my God! Just one moment. Unlock the door! Unlock the door! You have a mask, don't you? You're masked. What? I can't let you in. It's not safe. Are you kidding me, lady? Please!
And coming in at number 5, Sick. Released in 2022, tells the story of 3 friends that escape to a cabin to quarantine during COVID, but are soon stalked by a mass killer. Now, what I love about this film is that for a little bit there, for at least a couple of years, we had a lot of movies coming out in several genres about COVID. And I feel the reasons those didn't work is because none of us wanted to be reminded of what we just lived through. This is the only film, however, I have found that does something brilliant with its writing when it comes to its subject matter of COVID. The motivation of the killer in this is good writing, and what really swayed me about this film. None of the characters in this make a stupid, hard decision, and none of them are really a damsel in distress type sense. Everything about this film works to its kills, to its tension, to the motivation. So please do yourself a favor, check this one out. Go and relive that COVID era, but at least this time in a slasher form. This is streaming exclusively on Peacock, so check it out.
I'm all alone here. I'm all alone here.
And coming in at number 4, Last Straw. The film follows a manager as she works solo on the late shift and is stalked by unknown masked intruders. Simple premise, but why is it number 4? So as of filming this, I checked this movie out 2 nights ago and it jumped this high on the list. Now, I might be being biased. A little bit of background about myself. I'm a culinary manager at Chili's here in Nashville. This film is every manager's worst nightmare while working in a restaurant. I'm not going to give away what it is. You may think it's the masked intruder thing. No, it's the twist of who the masked intruders are. Everything about this film works. To its acting, to its tension. This thing is bloody toward the end. I absolutely love the performances in it. Like I said, maybe I'm being biased because of what I'm doing for a living, but I can tell you right now, if I had saw this film last year, it would have been in my top 10 horror of that year. Do yourself a favor, have some fun with this. This is the only film where an ex machina is introduced where I stood up and started clapping. That's how well this thing is written. So this is on Shudder exclusively. Please stream it. Please check it out. I promise you, you will love this film.
Oh, it's dark.
What we got filming those cameras, boys?
I cannot stand here.
And coming in at number 3, Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. Released in 2006, tells the story of a documentary film crew who gets unprecedented access to the rise of the next psychopathic killer, Leslie Vernon. Now, what I absolutely love about this film is that it takes a documentary style, follows the killer, and you answer all of the horror tropes from the killer side this time around. Why do you walk so slow? What's the workout routine for someone as built as Jason Voorhees? And this film actually takes place in the same world as Jason, Freddy, even Victor Crowley. This is all set in that universe and talks about these other characters and the horror tropes that are associated with masked psychopathic killers. I love how this film jumps from being a documentary at one point to being a slasher at the other, even down to the way it's filmed in and out. By the third act of this, you are in a straight up slasher, and it has done everything to foreshadow to you what is going to take place. This film is brilliant in its writing, it's brilliant in its performances. This is actually one that if I could own this mask, I would, but I've never been able to find it. And it's got a legendary stacked cast between Robert Englund, Kane Hodder, and the legendary, greatly missed Scott Wilson. So please do yourself a favor, check this out. Either buy a physical copy of it, or you can find it on AMC Plus to stream. Check it out.
Hi, Cole.
Not weird, we're just having fun. Things get messy when you make a deal with the devil.
And coming in at number 2, The Babysitter. Released in 2017, it tells the story of a kid that stays up past his bedtime, only to discover that his babysitter is part of a cult, and their next sacrifice is him. So a very underrated horror film from a very underrated horror actress, Samara Weaving. Everything this woman touches is gold, and she should be more appreciated as the horror queen she is. That being said, this movie really does put her at the front and center, but it's made whole by its incredible cast. This film is basically if Scott Pilgrim was a horror movie, and Scott Pilgrim is my favorite horror movie of all time. Even though this was directed by Mick G, who did Charlie's Angels, there is a lot of elements of Edgar Wright's style of filmmaking in this, all the way through. Very funny, very gory, very surprising. This is streaming exclusively on Netflix, and I promise if you check it out, you're going to immediately want to check out its sequel, Killer Queen, which also stars Jenna Ortega in her first, or at least the first role I ever saw her in, and how I was introduced to her. But please go check this film out. You will not regret it.
My family's in here. You can save them.
And coming in at number 1, The Collector. Released in 2009, stars Josh Stewart as an ex-con who tries to rob his former employer's home to pay back some debts. But unbeknownst to him, another criminal awaits who's already taken the family and rigged the house with deadly traps. Now the family he once tried to rob, he must save. So this is one of those where I can't get enough of it. I've watched this movie several times. I have shown it to several people, and I am very surprised how little this is mentioned or talked about. I have never seen cosplay of the main character. I have never even seen the mask of the main serial killer for sale. Everything about this film works. It is Kevin McAllister meets Saw, and it's very rare we get any slasher with a final guy. And he is just as good as Tommy Jarvis in the Friday the 13th franchise. There's also a sequel to it that holds up and has a killer first act, and a third one in the works as we speak. This thing is for free on Tubi and Amazon, so there's no reason not to check it out. I promise you, you're going to watch it over and over and over again as many times as I do, for how painful the traps are if you love Saw, for how gory it is if you're a gore hound, and how well acted it is, and it's got a great final act. So please do yourselves a favor and check out The Collector. And there you have it. Top 10 hidden gem slashers. Now, I hope I gave you guys some good recommendations. Again, let me know in the comments if there are any that I missed, any that were your favorites. And as always, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you want to see more of these lists. I have a few more that I've got lined up. But with all that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you next time.